Now it is time for our first fellow to make his presentation. Our first group is defending democracy in Ukraine. Our first competitor is Viacheslav Shvaidak. He will tell us about Dropla.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Viacheslav Shvaidak, and I'm an ex-lieutenant in the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and I'm here to solve the crisis of the landmine contamination. And to understand the problem and the scale of it, that's the map. 26,000 square kilometers of agricultural land only in inaccessible area is denied in service due to the landmine contamination. And the scale is, it's half of Denmark. And so I've gathered a group of extreme individuals, 35 of them working full-heartedly, both in Denmark and in Ukraine, solving this issue. So what is Dropla? It's a short name from drone platform, but in a nutshell, it's a toolbox for augmenting demining operation and threat detection for the military. So what's in the toolbox? 6 different sensing technologies, 10 unmanned systems, capability to survey up to 50 hectares per day. How we do it? We release a fleet of UAVs equipped with various remote sensing technologies to scan and survey the area. And then by applying signal processing techniques like machine learning and sensor fusion, we're able to create a map where threats are revealed, and each layer gives you an extra layer of confidence. The core of our system, obviously, is our software, and we're sitting on the biggest training ground truth dataset for landmine detection in the whole Europe right now. We're already operational in Ukraine, and this is the picture from our last gig in Ukraine. This is 100 hectares for one of the humanitarian demining operators, and we have found a sea of anomalies. We also found some anomalies that we didn't expect to find. A fox, 2 raccoons, and 2 deers. But what I really want to talk about is the application of this technology for the military sector. What you can see here is the schematics of so-called front edge of the battle area, or for the short FIBA. The adversary is constantly trying to disrupt your operations inside the FIBA zone by the means of dropping landmines onto your extraction routes or delivering anti-personnel landmines through the rocket artillery systems. So we need an ability and capability to detect threats in real time. That's why we've been approached by a special forces unit of Armed Forces of Ukraine to develop such capability. And this is Dropla Blue Eyes, a system capable of operating at 30 frames per second and be installed on vehicles that can run up to 60 kilometers per hour inside the FIBA zone. What you can see here is the moment where the technology gets adopted by the Ukrainian Armed Forces. This is not just a lighter. This is the lighter that the commander of a special forces unit has lost 3 weeks ago. And during the blind test trials, we have found it. That was the moment of adoption. So with these capabilities, we're tapping into the framework of NATO force protection and mobility. And over the course of the last 2 years, we've made many great relationships both with Ukrainian and Danish ministries and institutions, and now moving into the pilots with the big defense players. So, if you are an individual with vast defense network and want to save lives, come help me build this shield. Thank you.
And now our judges will have a chance to ask a question or two. Nikolai, do you have a question for us?
Great. Thank you for an amazing presentation, and please don't hold my first name against me. I am actually Danish, not Russian, but you can call me Mikola instead.
My father is Mikola.
Fantastic. So could you tell us a little bit how much is, so you've run a couple of dry runs now. You had the lighter you found. How many units are actually out in operation at this point?
What do you mean by operation?
So out there actually demining at this...
We're not in particular demining. We're doing land preparation and non-technical surveying phase of the demining action for the humanitarian. But now we have one full team that is doing this contract that we're deployed under for 3,000 hectares. So we plan to scale the number of the teams operating in Ukraine next year up to 6.
And who's financing that?
We have attracted over 1 million euros in funding, both for in equity and non-equity.
The 3,000 hectares, who's financing that specific operation?
The contract is paid by the humanitarian demining operator, which hired us, which in its turn got paid by the Ministry of Economy of Ukraine for the demining contract.
Great.
Laura.
Yes, thank you for a very exciting presentation. And an exciting product as well.
Yeah.
What are your biggest challenges if you need to roll this out in a bigger scale, especially now in the Ukraine?
Obviously, it's a financing issue. So the access to the working capital, because you can imagine that, no, I no longer have control. I just wanted to show that this 2 machines and 10 unmanned systems, 6 different sensing technologies, it's quite an expensive gig. So if you want to scale, like you need to cover the capex for the team. So right now, this is the only challenge. Explaining to the financial institutions that it has a viable business model, that they can back it up with the working capital.
And what about skills? Are there enough skills right now in the Ukraine to work with
That's
this?
plenty of technical skills in Ukraine for working with remote sensing technologies, artificial intelligence, advanced sensing, navigations.
I'm happy to
We're
hear.
the first in the world, I guess, now.
Viacheslav, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.